Yeah.
Should we begin?
Oh, I can do this. Do you want to do?
That sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's September the 17th, 2024. And we have five committee members here, so we've met quorum. Do we have any updates?
No, that's not obvious.
Okey doke. So let's call the meeting to order. Okay, so let's have a motion. We have a motion on the floor to declare today's meeting for the Municipality of Sioux Committee of Adjustments / Consent Granting Authority open and call to order. I need that the motion be moved by one of the committee members. Okay, and seconded by. Perfect, thank you very much. So the motion is. It's right here. What's the motion already? You have the motions? I don't have the motion.
I didn't have, that's the motion.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh,
This one.
this one right here. Okay, that the committee adjustment meeting of September the 17th, 2024 be declared open and called to order at 5 o'clock. Do we do it again? Do we have a motion to? Yeah, I thought we just did that though, didn't we?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, okay, good.
All in favor?
Perfect. All in favor? Perfect. Okay, got here, chair, okay, read the motion, blah, blah, blah. Okay, be opened. Carried, defeated, okay, the motion, so the majority in favor is carried. Okay, motion to excuse members.
Okay.
We're all here, right? Yeah, okay, good.
This needs to be moved and seconded by anyway.
Well, we have to do that too?
Yeah, I think every time, eh?
If you're excusing them.
Yeah, only for excusing, so we're not.
Okay, so we don't
Skip
have
that.
to, okay,
Perfect.
good.
Skip it.
So the
Okay.
agenda.
Oh,
Okay, an agenda for the Committee of Adjustment Consent Granting Authority meeting of September the 17th has been provided to us. Are there any issues or concerns with the agenda before we put the motion on the floor to accept this agenda as submitted? Okay, so the motion on the floor is.
So just approve the agenda
Yeah.
and then I just need a moved and seconded.
Okay, that the Committee of Adjustment approved the agenda as submitted. Do we have a? What do we have? A mover.
Yeah, moved by.
Okay, do we have a mover? Do we have a seconder? Okay, and the motion is carried. How you doing, David? Good. Okay, before us, we have the previous minutes of our last meeting on,
April 2nd.
when is it?
April 2nd.
April the 7th, 2024.
April-
April 2nd, yeah. Everyone has had a chance to look at these meetings. Are there any concerns, corrections, or discussions required? Okay, so we have on the motion, so we have to have a motion to approve the minutes.
Yes.
Okay, prove that the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting of April the 2nd, 2024 be adopted as presented, corrected. Do we have a mover? And a seconder? And it is carried. All in favor? All in favor? Okay, and it's carried.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right too, eh? Yeah, okay. Right. Okay. Okay, business from the previous minutes. Is there any business that from the previous minutes to be addressed?
No, no.
There are. Okay, good. Okay, delegations. Ask the secretary if there are any secretary treasurer. Are there any delegations? Okay. We move on. Applications. As the chair would like to announce that this is a public meeting to hear comments on consent applications. The committee will hear comments and evaluate written submissions. The committee makes a final decision. There are 20-day appeal period from the date of giving of the notice of decision. Yeah, do I read this later? I read this later, do I not?
Have to read the whole paragraph.
Okay, okay. The applicant, minister, or a specified person or public body may appeal the decision and or any condition imposed by filing a notice of appeal accompanied by the required fee with the municipal clerk. The appeal will be forwarded to the Ontario Land Tribunal for review. A minor variance application, the committee will hear comments and evaluate written submissions. The committee makes the final decision. There is a 20-day appeal period from the date of the decision. The applicant, minister, or a specified person of or public body that has an interest in the matter may appeal the decision made by the committee by filing a notice of appeal in writing to the secretary treasurer of the committee and attaching the fee required for the appeal. The appeal will be forwarded to the Ontario Land Tribunal for review. I got to continue reading all of this? Okay. A validation of title application. The committee will hear comments and evaluate written submissions. The committee makes the final decision. An appeal of an order made in violation of the property standards bylaw. The committee will hear comments and evaluate written submissions. The committee makes the final decision. The municipality in which the property is situated or any owner or occupant or person affected by the property standards decision may appeal to the Superior Court of Justice by notifying the clerk of the municipality in writing and by applying to the court within 14 days after a copy of the decision is sent. Okay, presentation of the application. The first application we have before us is is that it there? Okay, the consent C04-2024, David Gordon, being an application to create one new lot for a total of 2 lots on the subject lands be approved, subject to the recommended conditions of provisional consent. Number 1, that the following documents must be provided for the transaction. A, the original executed transfer/deed form, a duplicate original and 1 photocopy, sorry.
So the presentation, open with
Yeah.
the presentation.
Before we read out.
Okay, we'll do the presentation first.
Oh.
And then that.
I'm taking your job. I apologize. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So for this application, we have a consent application and a minor variance, and because they are related, we came up with one report for both applications. So I will just read one presentation for both applications. So a consent application has been submitted by David Gordon to create 1 new lot and 1 retained lot for a total of 2 lots on the subject lands. The applicant has also submitted a minor variance application to permit a reduction to the reduced required lot area for the new lot, for the severed lot. The subject lands have a total area of 22,000 square meters and a lot frontage of 52 meters on Drayton Road. There's an existing single detached dwelling on the subject lands. The consent application is proposing to create 1 new lot and 1 retained lot for a total of 2 lots on the subject lands. The proposed severed lot will have lot frontage on Drayton Road and the retained lot will have frontage on Abraham Lake Road. The minor variance is seeking a relief from a zoning bylaw section associated with the minimum lot area requirement for the rural residential zone. The severed lot does not meet the minimum lot area requirement under the zoning bylaw. The consent and minor variance applications were reviewed in the context of the 2020 provincial policy statement. A new provincial planning statement has been approved, but does not take effect until the end of October. The subject lands are located in the urban Sioux settlement area. The provincial policy statement directs that settlement areas shall be the focus of growth and development through land use intensification and infill development. The proposed consent and minor variance represent infill and intensification development. The provincial policy statement recommends municipal sewage and water services as the preferred form of servicing for development in settlement areas. The severed lot will be serviced by municipal water and sewage. The proposed consent and minor variance applications are consistent with the provincial policy statement. The subject lands are located in the urban Sioux settlement area and are designated as residential in the official plan of the municipality. The official plan encourages compatible development through infill and intensification within the urban Sioux settlement area. Also, the official plan directs that development in the settlement area shall be serviced with municipal water and sewage. The proposed consent conforms to the policies for development in the settlement area. The official plan states that the location and nature of lands to be divided should be suitable for the intended use, and an amendment or relief from the zoning bylaw is required if the creation of the lot does not meet the minimum requirements under the zoning bylaw. The proposed consent will create a lot that is suitable for the intended residential use. A minor variance application has been submitted to seek relief from the minimum lot area requirement for the separate lot. The proposed consent conforms to the official plan. The subject lands are zoned rural residential. The proposed lot does not meet all the rural residential zone requirements. I'm sorry, the proposed lot meets all the rural residential zone requirements, except the minimum lot area. A minor variance application has been submitted to permit the reduction. So there are 4 tests to be met before a minor variance can be considered. So the minor variance application was reviewed against the 4 tests of minor variance. The first one is the variance in keeping with the intent of the official plan. The proposed residential use is permitted in the official plan, and the reduction in minimum lot area is appropriate because the severed lot will be connected to municipal services. And second is the variance in keeping with the intent of the zoning bylaw. The subject lands are zoned rural residential. The minimum lot area required for any lot in the rural residential zone is 10,000 square meters. The proposed severed lot has a lot area of approximately 6,272 square meters. The purpose of the minimum lot area requirement in the rural zone is to ensure that properties have enough space to accommodate structures, buildings, sewage, and water facilities. Given that this proposed several lots will be connected to municipal services, a reduced lot area is appropriate. The proposed variance is in keeping with the intent of the zoning bylaw. 10, will the variance provide for a desirable development of the land? The subject property is designated and zoned for residential development in the municipal official plan and zoning bylaw respectively. The property owner intends to convey the land for residential development. The proposed variance will lead to a desirable development. 4, is the variance minor? Based on the review of the other 3 tests of a minor variance, the variance is minor. And then we received some correspondence from MTO, so I'm just going to read them out. So the subject property is identified as 13 Abraham Lake Road and has existing direct access of Abraham Lake Road. The subject lands have an area of approximately 36 hectares and a frontage of 413 meters. The consent application proposes to create 1 new separate parcel, 6,272 square meters parcel, and the retaining lot will have an area of 16,107 square meters. The minor variance is requesting to seek relief from the minimum lot area requirement of a lot within the rural residential zone. The retained parcel has approximately 50 meters of Highway 72 frontage an existing residential dwelling, but access is off the public side road, Abraham Lake Road. The proposed new undeveloped property will have access of the public side road, Drayton Road. No highway access to Highway 72 will be permitted. MTO has no objection to the proposed severance or the minor variance request of the residential parcels, providing compliance with the Public Transportation and Highway Improvement Act and MTO highway access management policies. In accordance with the Public Transportation and Highway Improvement Act, entrance permits are required for any entrance onto a provincial highway. Any change of property ownership, property description, entrance or land use, or of entrance construction requires a new permit. Entrance permits are granted exclusively to the property owner listed at the time of application and cannot be transferred. Highway 72 is designated as a King's Highway for highway access management purposes. The highway access management policy sets out the requirements a property must meet to be eligible for a permitted entrance. At this location, all entrance must be obtained off the public side road, the property abuts. M2 concludes that the granting of this consent will not have any adverse effect on highway operations. MTO has no objections to the creation of the new lot. Ministry building and land use permits are required for any development or construction occurring within 45 meters of the property limit of a highway and within 180 meters of the center point of a public road intersection with Highway 72. All permits are required prior to any development or construction taking place. M2 permits are in addition to municipal permit requirements. Permit information and online permit applications can be found on the municipal website and highway corridor management webpage. Permit requirements and application assistance can also be obtained by contacting corridor management officers. The comments made in this letter may no longer be valid if this severance is not completed within 1 year. After 1 year, this application or a new application will have to be reviewed and commented anew. A copy of this letter should be provided to the applicant. Please provide them to a copy of the decision when available. And then I also received some inquiries from some of the neighbors where I said about the.
Okay, Secretary Treasurer, were there any comments received for this application?
Yeah. So the first one that I read is from
Thank you.
and then I also spoke to some of the residents via phone who are concerned about the intended use for the property, and they were concerned that this property might, be used for commercial purposes instead of residential purposes. But then after speaking to them that the applicant intends to develop it for residential uses, they understood what was being done.
Okay. Do any of the committee members have site inspection reports they wish to present? Okay. Application presentation. Is there a presentation from the applicant or their agent? Okay, are there any members of the public in attendance who wish to speak on the application? Okay.
Speak first.
Sorry.
Well, my concern was, I have no problem with this application if it's residential. I would have a problem if it were commercial. And I feel that it would make a big difference because this property is in between two commercial properties. The garage and the one Aztec on the one side and the storage unit on the other side. So I would like for it to stay residential. I'm a resident. I have a residential property, and I feel that if it were to be commercial, it would affect my property, I would be very affected. So I would appreciate it if the property would stay residential. That's my comment.
You? I believe we're going for residential
Application.
designation, so.
The property is currently zoned residential, so in order to convert it to commercial, you have to actually go through another planning process, which you go through council.
Well, that was my concern.
So it's gonna be, as we understand, residential.
Good.
Yeah, so I'm David Gordon, yeah, and so I can just say that, yeah, I intend to, I'm giving the land to my daughter so she'll build a house. She's starting a family, so yeah, the land's been in my family for a while. So we're just giving her a piece of land so she can build a house and live there. She was living in Thunder Bay, she recently moved back to Sioux.
You went next to grandpa there. Perfect. I will now open the table up for discussion of the application by my committee members. Any comments?
I would just like to say that, you know, I definitely support that. I think, you know, that we have a shortage of housing, and for people to think this way is a really positive step for Sioux. And having, you know, families on one piece of generational land is important to a lot of people around here. So you definitely have this. And good for you for thinking outside the box and coming up with alternative housing solutions for us. We appreciate that.
Okay, I have a question. Maybe it's more towards Jody. I noticed that it's 10,000 square meters, which is what, a quarter of an acre, quarter of a hectare? Why is it so big when you, yeah, if you're gonna service, like I'm looking over at Autumnwood subdivision, they have water and sewer, and I remember at the beginning, he was allowed to put in under his subdivision plan, 2.5 acres or 1 hectare. And then he decided to put water and sewer in, and all of a sudden the lot sizes were reduced substantially down to a quarter of an acre. And I'm wondering why in this similar case where you need to go for a minor variance when they're saying they're gonna hook up the water and sewer, so why do they need such a big?
So for the reason for the minor variance is because it's zoned rural residential, which has a minimum lot size requirement of 2.5 acres, so 1 hectare. So rather than rezoning to like an R1 or an R2, which permits only smaller lot size, we will just go through the minor variance process to allow an undersized lot on the rural residential. But with the caveat that it ties into municipal sewer services.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. Any concern?
I just have a question, but on this drawing here, it sort of shows that his land goes on to the commercial property. Is that just the bit, or is that just the drawing? See what it looks like, the storage.
It's just been a drawing.
It's just the drawing, yeah, so it's saying.
The lines won't be completely accurate, and
Yeah.
definitely through the survey, we'll notice, we'll see if these commercial properties have approached with it here.
Oh, okay, because on the drawing, it looks like they have.
But yeah, like as Tech Auto, they have had our property over the years, but it's been no problem so far.
Yeah, okay.
Okey-doke, I'll place the motion on the table. That. Okay, that consent application C04 2024 be an application to create 1 new lot for a total of 2 lots on the subject lands be approved, subject to the recommended conditions of provisional consent. That the following documents must be provided for the transaction: the original executed transfer deed form, a duplicate original and 1 photocopy for our records, a schedule to the transfer deed form, of which is set out the entire legal description of the parcel in question, and a reference plan of survey which bears the land's title office registration number and signatures as evidence of its deposit therein, illustrating the parcel to which the consent approval relates, and that the application obtains entrance permits for each lot in accordance with the municipality's entrance policy, that the applicant submits and obtains approval for a minor variance to permit a reduced lot area for the severed lot, that the applicant enters into an agreement with the municipality to require the installation of water and sewer services for the new lot, that the applicant pays cash in lieu of parkland dedication, an amount of $750 prior to the final approval. Do we have a mover? Okay. Do we have a seconder? Is it all carried? It's all carried.
Who seconded?
What?
Who seconded? Roger.
Roger did, yeah. Okay. So we have a motion on the floor that. We have the next one?
Yeah.
Perfect. That the proposed variance is minor in nature, is in keeping with the general intent and purpose of the municipality's official plan and zoning bylaw, and are desirable for the appropriate development and use of the land. Based on a review of the minor variance application, it would appear that the four tests of the minor variance have been met. It is recommended that the minor variance be approved to permit the new severed lot with a required minimum lot area of 6,000 square meters. Do we have a mover? And a seconder? Okay. All in favor? Carried. There we go. So. Chair must make sure that the committee wants to make amendments. I guess we just move our, okay, so that would be it. Now we're on to our old business. Okay, is there any old business to attend to?
That's not.
Okay. New business, is Secretary Treasurer, is there any new business the committee should be aware of?
That's not.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we're on to the adjourning. There is a motion on the table to adjourn today's meeting. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Okay, all in favor? Agreed. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor that the Committee of Adjustment consenting granting authority meeting of September the 17th, 2024 be adjourned at 5:28 p.m. All in favor? Carried. Thank you everyone for attending.